Welcome back to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. My name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid, so roles can be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates for you, because part of the reading could resonate more with you, and the other part can resonate more with the person that you're tapped into. Now, know that the message always goes to the person that needs to hear it. That's why even if you're not a Virgo and you resonate with this, the message was meant for you, because spiritual energy works like a magnet. That includes negative energy. So here at the Psychic Soul Healer channel, we look at the spiritual wounds. We look at the samskaras, which are the spiritual blocks, which are psychological and emotional, and they're subconscious. And they come out within our behaviorisms, and that is what blocks us and cuts us off from manifesting the life and the life that we want to experience. So the other day, someone posted a comment saying, "That's not love." And also, like, the message wasn't love. And also that the previous message before was completely different. They said it was from farm to table. Like, oh, that perception was completely different. But when you're dealing with wounds, it's going to be when a person is dealing with their wounds, they're coming from an emotional state a lot of times. And so especially when we're dealing with love, right? Or when we're dealing with something that we're afraid of, or something that we haven't had good experiences in. So understand that these subconscious behaviorisms are what gets in the way of us manifesting. So from an outsider looking in, a person that has wounds is going to seem almost crazy. Because they're always coming from their emotional state. They're going to always be coming from a very imbalanced state, which means that they're not grounded. Only in the now do we get divine guidance through gut, intuition, inner knowing. But we also have to tap into our logical side. And we can only really do this when we're balanced and grounded. So grounded and actually centered. So again, yes, the messages are going to seem sporadic because, again, here on the Psychic Soul Healer channel, the message goes to who needs to hear it. And it's to hopefully create not just awareness, but like some sort of formula to create balance. That's why we always open up every reading with my deck, the Psychic Soul Healer deck, because it's going to let us look at the psychological and emotional imbalances like this one, which is self-critical. Right? When we're self-critical, it means that we're not in the present moment. We're too focused on ourselves. We're too busy judging ourselves to actually create ourselves. So we can see how that takes us further away from the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven's inside of us, each and every single person. And it's because if we imagine, whatever we imagine, we can create. We can create our world with our voice, just like God did. God gave us those spiritual gifts because we've all been inherited and incarnated into the physical world with the same gifts that Source has, because it says God made us in its image. So again, we have male image, we have female energy. We have male energy, we have female energy, and those are, again, character traits. So sometimes when we have blocks, we usually have them in, again, either a male or female trait. So again, the readings are not just to create awareness, but to help you heal. So will I also see what has happened in your life, or is it some sort of storyline? Of course, but we're not so much focused on what that person may do. We're focused more on how to heal to get the experiences that we want. Because understand, when our karma is based on what we choose to do, on our actions. So if a soulmate comes into your life and there is a soul recognition, there's an unconditional bond of love. It's transcends all time and space. That's what past life relationships are. So they've come into your life for a reason. So understand karma is, again, not good or bad. It means learn. So dealing with people that you have a soul's connection to is challenging, because again, a lot of times they're going to bring out all our wounds, and our karma is based on how we choose to deal with that person. So that's why we look at the bigger picture here. Why? Because if you don't heal a spiritual block, it will continue to play out as a karmic themes throughout your life. Maybe every 10-year cycle, every 7-year cycle, we've heard of this before. And so again, we also can tend to pass down our karma to our children. And again, this is how ancestral karma is passed on. So we want to break the ancestral karma. We want to heal our samskaras so that we can expand consciousness, so we can evolve into the state of unconditional love. And when we do that, we can easily create the life and the life experiences that we want to have. I just always like to give a little awareness for those newbies that just happen to come across my channel. Now, again, if you're new to my channel, anything that you need to know of any relevance to the channel, you can find in the description box. And if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, all you need to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the day. Every time I do a video, it's a different word because I pull for it. And it's always how I open up the reading, because there's obviously a reason why Spirit is making that the word of the day, what we are supposed to be meditating on, what we're supposed to be looking at. Again, everything is everything's healing, and everything is that's healing is supposed to create awareness to help you evolve. Okay, invincibility. Invincibility is the word of the day. So again, you are going to like, subscribe, and write invincibility. Now you'll know whether or not I chose you if I wrote the word winner underneath your comment. If we did, we just correspond back and forth on YouTube, and I'll put the link to the video, the live stream rather, for your reading. All readings are done live. This way there's never any discrepancies, and it's what's in alignment with spiritual law. It's what's best for everyone involved. And that includes, again, random people that come across the video and resonate with your message. So I'm perceiving right now, I mean, just the energy and invincibility is that people perceive you as invincible, or they're about to perceive that you're invincible. So I feel like you're on your path, and you are. Is again, it's all about diplomacy. Diplomacy. So you're actually vibrating at a very high vibration, Virgo. Deluded. So you are invincible, and you actually are, like, again, vibing at a very high vibration. However, I do believe that there's people around you that are a little like deluded to their place in your life right now. And I believe that that's weighing heavy on your consciousness. I also believe that there may be someone that you're connected to, Virgo, that you know that they're not really the most healthiest for you. And trying to make it work would make you deluded. So there is a sense where you're on your path and you're vibing high, but there is a part of you that is still holding on to something that is not in alignment with where you're going, with who you are today. And it could be someone that you were connected to from your past. So you could have dated somebody and it was a real soul's connection. And again, that's one that transcends time and space. but this person has always been toxic. And even though they are toxic, they know that they don't treat you right. They're a little deluded because they think that they can actually have you. The issue here is I'm almost feeling like there's a codependent energy, but it's very toxic. It's almost like ownership. Now, this is the spiritual energy that we look at. And why does it? Because it tells us a lot. It tells us you're on your path and you're doing you. You're not with this person. There is still a spiritual cord. You are looking to head in your life, but you're still holding on. There's still an energetic cord, and possibly just because there's no one taking that place, or you're not fully on your path. You're getting there. Again, people perceive you as invincible. Now, why that's important, like again, because we don't want to be with someone that's toxic. Let's look at the samskara. Like, because that will tell us what wounds were opened or triggered, right? It will tell us what was awakened from this person and what the karma is going to look like if you, again, decide to be with this person. Perfectionism. This person, I feel like, is a bit of a narcissist because they put you on a pedestal. So they either don't give people energy, or they, again, give them, again, too much energy. Meaning they either don't invest in them at all. They're not balanced, is what I'm getting at, which is why they're deluded. They perceive you as, again, invincible, like how everyone else perceives you, because you're on your path. But they have a strong emotional connection to you, so they see you as perfect. And the problem with that is that when you're in separation, you're not getting to know a person. Anxiety and worry. So again, there's a sense of, again, needing you, wanting to be perfect. This person triggers you. And I believe a lot of times past life relationships do, because there's this love, unconditional love, which is a real deep type of love, where you want to give and you want to be around that person. You almost want to be perfect for that person, especially if the person is broken. There would be like this a condition like of yours, is what I'm saying. Not saying that that's what you should do. The wound is, again, where you're being triggered of feeling the need to be perfect. And what happens is there's no such thing as perfect. When we're on our soul's path, when we're creating our life, it's an actual unfoldment process. We're figuring it out. The way that you're dealing with it, people see as that you're invincible because you're not crying, you're not suffering, you're not how people would perceive, even how they would go through it. There's a lot of, again, judgment. A lot of people project. So what can happen if you feel the need to be perfect and hold to this level? Then obviously anxiety and worry would happen. I also feel like you are triggering people where they're becoming worried because you're becoming like not noticeable anymore. So karma means learn, and it depends on what we do. It depends on how we deal with the situation. So again, you're connected to someone from the past and they're not the healthiest. They're toxic. They need to do healing. They bring out certain elements inside you to awaken your wounds, the things that can actually block you from manifesting your life. And what we see is the need to be perfect. And you can't give enough to someone that is broken. You can't fix them. They have to want to fix themselves. And you shouldn't be that person that fixes them, because then you'll be conditioning them to either perceive that you're perfect because now you have to do it all, or perceive that you're like they're someone that they will eventually not respect. So again, will always be this anxiety and worry, and we can't manifest if we're worried, right? So it would be a way, that's how you would be deluded, because in a way, I can't have this person, but important things are happening in my life. And betrayal, like I said, because this person is not healthy. And so the karmic wound that I feel like you have is that you grew up in an environment or dated someone for a long period of time where they betrayed you. So when we have a wound, it means that we've gone through an experience, and that experience created a lot of trauma. And what happens is that over time, the memory dulls, but all that energy is still there, because again, the law of transmutation is you can't just get rid of negative energy. You're an energy being. It has to change, or it stays the same and it stays stagnant. So when we have gone through a betrayal, it actually makes us not trust ourselves. It makes us be filled with anxiety and worry. So we can see, again, because we haven't learned, we haven't integrated the spiritual lesson. And the spiritual lesson could be just having boundaries. It could be knowing that sometimes you're dealing with people that you do love, but they're not trustworthy. And it's not because they don't love you, it's because they don't love themselves. They haven't done the work, because here again, this person's putting you on a pedestal. I feel as if they realize what, again, the separation and everything that went on was kind of their fault. I feel like they still have a big ego, and they betrayed you. But they betrayed you because, again, there was this spiritual lesson that needed to be learned when we look at it from a spiritual perspective. Because a lot of people say, why did this happen to me? And the reason why is because you're a spiritual being having a human experience, and you need to evolve. You don't get what you want, you get what you need. And so when we have someone come into our life that hurts us, we got a lesson, and the lesson was, again, you can't be perfect, because trying to be perfect means that you abandon yourself. You are invincible, again, but not when you scatter your energy. Again, we can bring the person to water, just like you bring the horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Well, you can, again, bring the person to healing, I should say, but you can't make them heal. They have to really want to do this. There's a sense that this person almost sees that you're so perfect that you can heal them because they're looking at your life. So it's almost like what narcissism is built on. It's, and because people that are narcissists, they feel so inadequate. And so when a person feels inadequate, they obviously want to be with someone and also create an environment that actually like reflects success. So they're going to always pick the cream of the crop because of that. So the deluded is that you know that about this person. And you also know that there would be a sense of, I need to be perfect, we can't find our unfoldment process. We're already on our path. There's already things happening, reviving high. That's why this person wants to come in. Now, does that mean that they're conscious of their behavior and why? No. It's, again, they love on their level of consciousness of love. Again, martyr, sacrificing too much, needing to rescue others. It's okay to focus on yourself. Don't be a martyr. Again, I don't know why this person and you didn't work out. There's not really a storyline here. We're just looking at the wounds. Remember, we can look and I can pull a few cards, but the focus is again on what are the behaviorisms? Especially if we want to get out of this karmic loop. We want to break this cycle of betrayal, because let me tell you something. If you don't heal that with this person, you will have that same karmic lesson. And you may say, well, I won't date. Well, you'll get it within a friend. I won't have a friend. You'll get it within your job. I won't work. It's like, again, you can't isolate, because then you'll get sick. Because detachment from self, detachment from others, and detachment from God is really how disease is manifested. Or then if you don't like the word God, it could be, again, to a power that's greater than you. Again, that's what really gives us faith. That's what really gives us hope. So again, if we feel our love and happiness is going to come from giving to other people and neglecting ourselves, because we feel that we need to be perfect. No, it's like you'll wind up abandoning yourself. Out of tune. Okay, so again, like I believe at one time you resonated with this person, like again, where you both felt that, but I feel like this person feels like they're inadequate, and that brings out the nurturer in you. That would again make you want to let me fix you, let me do for you, because you make me feel good. I know that you really do like have strong feelings for me. We do have a soul connection. Problem here is, again, this relationship is being brought together for both of you to look at the imbalances within your life. It doesn't mean that you can never be together, but these things need to be healed. Otherwise, this person is just going to play the broken person, and you're going to, whether you want to or not, wind up being the martyr. And I feel like this person actually at one time was the martyr for other people. So they'll also be a little bit angry at the role that they played in the past, and unconsciously treat you bad or not really as balanced, because they're overcompensating for what has happened in the past. And so when we say, well, I feel like you treated your ex better than me, that's because they gave 100%, and now they're coming into this relationship and know that they have feelings, they're going to hold back. And I feel like that has been the problem right from the get-go, the holding back. And now they're coming in and they're like, because they've always had feelings, but they don't feel comfortable being like, they don't feel comfortable being that vulnerable, because they know that they are the person that becomes the martyr then. So it's not uncommon. Remember, when you have a soulmate or a twin flame, again, they say that it's opposite. It's not really opposite. It's that you usually have the same karmic wounds. They're just, the behaviorisms are different. Here in this story, with these two individuals, they both tend to, once they get close, not be able to set appropriate boundaries in the past. I feel like you, Virgo, has learned a little bit, but that's why you're being confronted with this. It's again, it's a karmic test. Will you abandon what you're doing? And this person, like again, in the past, so they're deliberately coming in like the broken, handicapped person. And know something too, and a lot of people are probably not going to like what I have to say, but I have to say it just because, again, which is a little side note, anyone that comes in like broken, where they, again, they can't say that they can't give 100% right from the beginning of the relationship, you shouldn't be with them. And the reason why is because you train a person how you want to be treated. You teach them through what you allow. And it's a habit. It's unconscious. But if a person is holding back because they're afraid, Their focus is also on not really giving. Whether they want to or not, whether it's in, that's because the energy is going to look half in, half out. And that's what this energy has been the whole time, where this person has held back. But they need to heal what's deep inside them, because they will continue to trigger what's inside you if you give them. Right? Like worry and anxiety, like what's going on with this person, and feeling the need to be perfect and holding it together for this person when this person is coming in broken. So again, we need to look at that, because they don't feel comfortable with themselves. Well, then they need to fix that. You don't have to be a martyr for them, because they know what it feels like also to be a martyr, as I said. And they wouldn't like that. They wouldn't like to have to repeat that, so they shouldn't be asking you. What are their hidden truths? What are their hidden truths? You don't know how hard it was to let you go. Yeah, because this person is so strategic. They won't let their guard down. And they won't let their guard down because, again, they don't want to seem vulnerable. And so you're setting boundaries is almost was like, I believe, a scare tactic. Like, again, manipulative, trying to make you worry, trying to create anxiety for you in hopes that you would come back to them, and that you didn't. That's why they see that you're perfect, like, again, in their mind, that you're perfect because you don't like tolerate that, and so you're very well respected. However, now this person's like prideful, so we see how much healing that they really need to do. I regret lying to you. Yeah, but they are not comfortable in revealing who they truly are, because they're always coming from a mask. The mask. Again, that's what happens when we have shadows. And when we have shadows, we play the victim of a martyr at one time. And then when we're not the martyr, we may flip to being a narcissist, which this person coming in this way is setting it up for that. Because anyone that's ever been with a narcissist knows they always make me feel like I need to be perfect. All they do is create anxiety and worry inside of me, and in the end, they betray me. But that's because, again, of their thing. So they regret it. They see the friendship, but they also see that you're not letting them manipulate you. I don't react when people mention you. Yeah, this person is like, I refuse to like show people how I truly feel. So they're really acting on this this level. I'm going to pull one more just from a different deck, because this is just so like where the person is like, nope, I'm not going to give in to this. I don't want to give you that. And it's mainly because they feel in every single other relationship, they're the person that always gives in. They're the person that always gets emotionally manipulated. And even though I feel that this person has always been in the wrong, they again are almost like projecting their anger and everything that they've done for every other relationship onto you. So again, we can see how they would repeat the same karmic cycles. Our story isn't over yet. There was a third party. See, so it's like, so again, they still want to hold on to you, narcissist, but there's somebody else there. So they never will 100% give. And that is what I'm saying. They're coming in broken. They're attached to somebody that they don't want to be attached to. And that's because they have intimacy issues. And they have intimacy issues because of whatever the trauma is that they went through. So they keep trying to be in relationships, but they will be not successful, because again, there will always be, there will always be a triangle. They will always create a triangle to create a lot of anxiety to keep you stuck. because they don't believe that they're really truly lovable, and they're really living more from the ego. So how do we deal with this energy? Because again, it's shocking and it's hurtful and it's all that. When we deal with it, we can say, oh, you cut it off. Yes, I understand that. You can cut it off, but what, why? Like, what, is there any bigger spiritual message is what I'm getting a lot of times. When you see how a person really is, the hurt of seeing who they truly are is a lot less than being in a relationship with someone where you kind of knew, as we said, but you were ignoring it, and then you sacrifice your future. So it's about abandonment of self, not abandoning self, loving yourself, and not loving yourself more. Again, because in a way, if you're attached to someone that doesn't love themselves, they don't know how to treat you. So on some level, if you're going to put up with it, do you love yourself enough? Is what I'm feeling. And then again, affirmation. I listen to myself and acknowledge my needs. I assert myself and retain my power. I am brave and gentle. I don't have to be afraid of others. I respect myself and am respected by others. So it's again, say the affirmation, but really it's like you needed to listen to yourself. And the whole, someone creating so much anxiety and worry, but what this is saying, like, I don't need to be afraid of others. Like the moment that this person made you feel afraid, and when I'm saying afraid, it could be emotionally, like this person, are they going to show up for me? Is this person, do they really care? They're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I don't know what's happening here. By not having appropriate boundaries. That you were allowed, again, and that you needed to respect yourself. That by really the bottom line was respect yourself. And by respecting yourself, you force a person to respect you, whether they want to or not, because that's really what this is at the end of the day. Now, it doesn't say that you went back with them. What this is saying is that is, again, what's at hand. This person wants to come back into your life because they see that you're doing well. They see you're looking good. They see everything's going well. However, they haven't done the healing that they need to do. So in that, they would wind up hurting you, Virgo. So I'm going to leave it there. Now, if you resonated with this message, definitely give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to write invincibility. You will be invincible if you, again, do not entertain this karmic situation at this period in time. You know, you can always come back and, you know, in a month or two and see what the readings are, because, again, people can change. Remember, when you change, if it's a soul relationship, they a lot of times will change. Now, does that mean that you would be with them? No, sometimes, unfortunately, you're just the conduit for them to change, meaning you showed them a different way and brought up certain things about themselves where they had realizations, where they made those changes, but you're on a different path and somewhere further on down the line because they didn't catch up in time. Remember, not every soulmate we're supposed to be with, but sometimes they do come back and apologize and are someone, and again, they surrender their ego, and when there's real love, guess what? It can sustain that, even if the person was a jerk the whole time. Again, that's the whole thing with unconditional love. It transcends time and space. You have no control. That's the power of the universe. That's the power of God. That is, again, the energy of God. That's what God is. And that's what the energy is inside of each and every single one of us. And when we connect so deeply with a soulmate, with a soul family member, well, it's again, where we have soul recognition of that love. And that's why it's difficult to break these type of relationships. And that's why the lessons that come with these type of relationships are difficult. I'll talk to you soon.